This your boy, live and direct, and absolutely full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how Jimmy J Smooth do. I'm live and direct with my boy Craig Smith the second, out the 662. Y'all already know how he do. What's popping? What's dropping, brother Craig?
Man, not much, brother. We got an action pack. We got a live topic filled show today. Not much topics. We gonna discuss this Rich Paul rule, the Marshawn Lynch video that we saw, and I along with Jimmy will have a message to all you little. I'm just gonna go and say for what it is, you little pussy ass moms out there. In regards to that, we also gonna talk about my take on the first episode of the Raiders Hard Knocks episode, which you can find it on YouTube. Better watch before they take it down. And then also Jimmy and I, we're gonna do our little random top 25 countdown where we will pick a number and we will preview the team because I got my new Sports Illustrated top 25 college preview episode, and that's how we're gonna do it. So without further ado, let's get this show rolling. And by the way, the Jimmy J Smooth Network has been brought to you in part by Trey Styles Customs and Designs. There's not nothing that he cannot customize. If you need NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, or MLS items done, hit him up 901-364-3698. And also, if you need, I just forgot that. But anyway, I'm just on the road here. I'm having random brain farts. But anyway, let's get on about it, man. Let's talk about this Rich Paul rule.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, because a lot of people have been asking me about the fucking Rich Paul rule. I'm fucking confused by it when I read it, because for one instance they were talking about people need to have degrees, and then for one instance they said kids can actually talk to it, get the advice of an agent, and if it doesn't work out, they can actually go back to school. That's my understanding of it. But please fill me in on this. If I'm half-assing it, please fill me in on this, because I'm confused by this motherfucker. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Go ahead, brother Craig, live and direct.
Well, I'm confused by it too, but from what I gather from it, it's basically saying that, read between the lines. Everybody's saying that they're screaming this is racist, and the NCAA been having Rich Paul Rich Paul has been under the watchful eye of the NCAA for a long time. Basically what they trying to say is, like, Jimmy, if you're an agent, if you don't have no degree, you can't be out here talking to kids. You can't be out here representing somebody. You basically got to have a degree in that type of field. Like, okay, agent, if you're trying to be a sports agent, sports management or something like that, and something in business, you got to have some type of degree or some shit like that. And from what it is, let's go and say what it said. Rich Paul is a street nigga. Okay, I mean, let's just put it out there. And he has he has no degree. I mean, even though I'm sick of everybody comparing him to Michael Jordan, LeBron don't have a degree, but this dude is utilizing some street smarts by opening up schools and everything else and this and that. And here the greatest of all time, Jordan, who has a degree in couple fields, business and everything else, he ain't doing nothing to give back to the community. I mean, I'll do LeBron a solid on that, but that Rich Paul rule.
I have to stop you right there. Michael Jordan does do things for the community. It's just not put out there. I can't.
Okay.
Stress,
okay.
Stress this enough. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get into that. Okay. Now Jim stood me corrected on that one. But I think that Rich Paul rule. I think that rule is more targeted at Rich Paul, and Rich Paul in his own way. And LeBron basically, Rich Paul in their own way basically told NCAA, man, fuck y'all. I'm gonna do me. I'm still go out and talk to these kids. I ain't gotta get no degree to do what I need to do. True enough, hey, Rich Paul making sure these dudes, he making sure dudes like LeBron, AD getting their money. But it's also these wrong, but it's also, and I'm gonna tell you how he really came. This is what I really believe. I believe Rich Paul really was is really not only under the NCAA's eye. I really think the NBA's watching his ass too. Cause
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck J.R. Smith got the contract he got? How the fuck Tristan Thompson got the contract he got?
Trick
And ever
bitch
since
Thompson.
LeBron, huh?
I call him Trick bitch Thompson. He ain't
Yeah,
finna get Tristan.
Trick bitch Thompson. How did Trick bitch Thompson get the contract he got? They ain't did shit. They only claim to fame the reason why they got that money because they won a championship that year. And ever since then, they ain't do shit. Ever since LeBron left, they ain't been doing shit.
But I will say this though, the NBA do have to give that money because according to the collective bargaining agreement, they got to spend that money. It's a use it or lose it situation for the owners and shit like that. So they got to give that money away to niggas who don't deserve it. Just like, for instance, Draymond Green is not $100 million player at
Hell
best.
no.
At best, and I'm gonna say at best 80 to 70. And I'm being nice when I say 80 to 70.
That's all. And I'm like this here. If the Warriors can get Draymond that money, you should have gave Kevin Durant that money.
And you should have gave Boogie Cousins that money. If you just
damn right.
Because if Boogie was still on that team, the Warriors would still be dangerous right now. The problem is you're in a situation to where even if John B. Thompson comes back, y'all gotta score. Y'all in the position where y'all gotta score, and y'all gonna need an inside score. And like I say, I've been saying for many years, all the damn Warriors needed was an inside score. They would have won several championships. A healthy Boogie Cousins lead them to the championship. But go ahead.
Yeah, and speaking of Boogie Cousins, Ticket TV put out something out there that the man was playing basketball and his flip flops on concrete. So yeah, you spelling disaster again to tear your Achilles tendon. So again, but I mean the Rich Paul rule is confusing to me at best. But what I think it is mainly in the NCAA's way of throwing shade at Rich Paul. But you got a lot of agents out here that don't have any damn degrees at all. That's doing the thing. I mean, if the NCAA gonna look into guys like Rich Paul and shit like that, hey, look into all these other agents that probably don't have no degrees and they in the field that's got all the top players. Hell, matter of fact, look into one of the best damn sporting agents there is in Mid South. Stop me if you heard this name before. Jimmy Sexton.
Yep.
Look into him. He's Nick Saban's agent. He represents a lot of people. Nick Saban. Nick Saban, and I forgot who else he represents. Look into him. If you want to target Rich Paul, like I said, he a street nigga making sure he getting money. Players getting paid, and some players deserve to be paid. Some players don't deserve to get paid, like Anthony Davis and everything else. Hey, look at the guys like Jimmy Sexton who've been in the game longer than some of these cats have. I ain't throwing shade at Jimmy Sexton. But if you're gonna start doing that to Rich Paul, start doing that to everybody else.
Exactly. If you're not gonna get them all, don't say shit at all. And I'm glad LeBron been the main guy calling that shit out. Now, the advantage he had was he made sure the dude that represents him, his friend that represents him who played basketball with him, he got a degree. You know what I'm saying?
Maverick Carter. Yep.
Yeah, he made sure. You know what I'm saying? Because LeBron didn't just one thing I could say, he's a true friend because he invested in all his friends. He made sure he made sure he paid for their schooling. He made sure, his head of security is his basketball teammate. He didn't just be like, hey, here go $1 million. I'm gonna make it rain on all you want as LeBron as a player. I'll take that L as a LeBron fan. I'll take that L. One thing you can't give him an L on is looking out for his homies in the community.
Man, what? That's why I said LeBron the player, I'm tired of it, but LeBron the man, I got a whole lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
I got a whole lot of respect for LeBron the man, because he do look out for everyone.
Yeah,
he do take care of his friends, he take care of his family. But as far as him being a player, I'm sick of it. And it's like one of the guys, like I'm not saying guy's name, but he made a good point about LeBron too. He said, have you heard when was the last time you heard ESPN brag about how much money Michael Jordan puts into his body? He said, oh, wait a minute, I'll wait on that. You know, don't nobody care about LeBron having all these personal chefs and shit and the personal training to make sure he in NBA shape and all the other shit. You didn't hear that shit about with Jordan? Hell, Jordan was Jordan. As long as he produced, you
Mhm.
rarely you heard of Michael Jordan being on the injury list. And the only time that Michael Jordan was ever out for a season was when he
Mhm.
broke his foot.
Mhm. Yeah.
When he broke his foot, I think that was in his rookie year or in his second year with the team. Before, his second year
Yeah.
with the team, because that's when the Bulls were terrible.
Oh yeah. And they
And true,
barely.
and yes, Michael Jordan has beat everybody in the playoffs except one guy, and his name is Larry Bird.
Yeah. And then one of the reasons why was because the Jordan's teams were eighth seeds in the playoff. That's one of the
Yep.
reasons. And they barely made the playoffs because it was one year they was like 31 and something, and they were like
30
the
and 52.
30 and 52. They had the lowest they had the lowest amount of wins to make the playoffs in NBA history. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so one of those things to where they building at that particular time. That's the reason why when Scottie Pippen came, he mentored Scottie Pippen. He told him individually, "Yeah, I know you were all American out of Arkansas, but we gonna practice together after practice. And when I play you in practice, you're gonna have to guard me." And that's what made Scottie Pippen a hell of a defender. Having to
Mm-hmm.
guard Michael Jordan, he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Don't defend nobody else but me. I don't want you to. I want you to learn some shit." When the greatest
Mm-hmm.
player got to take you and mentor you, you know what I'm saying, to tell you finna guard me just to make you better, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna make you a hell of a lot better. He mentored him, he guided him. When Scottie Pippen was having financial problems, he financially provided for Scottie Pippen. That's how close he was. And again, as I mentioned, Michael Jordan does things in the community that is just not talked about. Because, like,
Right.
the Boys and Girls Club on the West Side, the I think it's the Jeffrey R. Jordan Boys and Girls Club. He built that for the West Side because it was a lot of gang. That's one of the height of the gang violence. And then
West
also,
side is always the height. West side is always gangland territory in the shot.
yeah, and not just that, he takes kids in that community to Africa every year so they can learn about their culture. So I can't sit up here and say that he does not do. It's just not talked about. People, and you can research this because I actually have the link. He takes kids, black kids every year. You know what I'm saying, to Africa and shit like that. He's also led Nike to hire the only black person in that executive company. There's only one black person, and Michael Jordan actually you know what I'm saying? So some things he does that people don't talk about. Michael Jordan is just a big ass asshole. That's the problem. Michael Jordan is a big asshole. So that
Yeah.
when you're an asshole, that's left
And he
out.
admit that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even Charles Barkley, his own friend, admit that, man. He said Mike can be an ass sometimes. But people don't see the other side of him, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even ESPN did an article years ago because Phil Jackson. This is even confirmed by Phil Jackson. He said people say he doesn't do anything for Black society, but I have to disagree with him. You know what I'm saying? I say he does a lot of things behind the scene that people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? That is not public record. I mean, and we get people that say this all the time, but that's totally inaccurate. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. When it comes to that, what's good, Lawrence Williams, man? Live and direct. We got a one guy up in this mug, man. Much respect to
What's
Lawrence
going on?
in the chat room as well. But but again, LeBron is that dude, that stand-up guy. I think they need to change this rule because really, if you're trying to be a sports agent, that only really takes at best a year, 6 months to a year. That's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
getting a fucking CDL. That's kind of like getting a hair beautician's license or license to teach a beautician. You can get that within a few months or some shit like that. Because all you got to know is how to deal with people. Really, sports agency should really more so be like a fucking trade, to be honest with you. Because when you're a
Yeah.
sports agent, you're pretty much self-employed. Because even if
Yeah.
the agency itself fire you, they still have to pay you that commission legally
Mm-hmm.
they still have to pay you legally for that person, that individual that you got. It's almost like selling insurance. It's almost like selling, real estate or whatever as a broker or a realtor. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same shit. You don't need 2 years of fucking school that you're not gonna get shit out of to do that shit. LeBron did the right thing by already making sure he got his degree before he became a sports agent. But that's something that you don't need a fucking degree for, because
Right.
common sense will tell you, like, if you work for Crylike as a realtor, you're gonna be professional at some point. You're gonna have to be professional. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I'm selling you a house and have access to a multiple listing service, I'm gonna have to be professional. You gonna learn professionalism at some point. Do I need a fucking degree to have access to the multiple listing service? Fuck no.
No.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing a real estate license, I'm talking about a broker license, a realtor license, does for you. Unlike, being an investor, that knowing all you got to do is know the market. But that's the only thing having a real estate license do for you, is give you access to the multiple listing service. And I'm speaking to people that say you got to have a license. No, you don't. You just need to know the fucking housing market, because, and buy a property that you feel that is valuable. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just going there. So, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man, when it comes to that topic. You got anything else you want to say before we go to the next topic?
No, sir.
What is the next topic you wanted to discuss individually as a person? What was the next topic you wanted to go into?
Marshawn Lynch situation, the video. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. It's basically a woman trying to flex her white privilege, basically. That's all I saw right there. Because if it was another white man doing the same thing, she probably wouldn't have been as bitchy. But the fact that this is an NFL player that has controversy surrounding him, and a black dude G-checking, it wasn't really about that dude cussing at those kids, because I'm pretty sure that her parents, her grandparents had cussed at that kid before. I'm pretty sure he's heard enough white guy heard that. It was just her flexing her white privilege, because she went to the, oh, you're being sexist. They only use the term sexist predominantly with black guys. Every once in a while they use that with white guys, every once in a while, but they mainly use that with black dudes, because they think black dudes, they know a lot of these black dudes, you know what I'm saying, gonna buckle under pressure. But I'm glad Marshawn Lynch didn't buckle under pressure. I'm glad he put her in check. And Marshawn Lynch did the right thing by saying, hey, I need a man I need to know if a man is around, so he can understand my position as a man. And let me tell you, women out here who be pussyfying your kids, for lack of a better term.
Get on, Jimmy, because I'm waiting.
Let these dudes get some game from Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is a future Hall of Famer, whether he gets in on the first ballot, because I know these sports writers gonna make him wait, like they did the late Cliff Branch, and I'm gonna get into that in a second when it comes to Cliff Branch. But they gonna make that motherfucker wait. And his numbers is first ballot Hall of Fame numbers, but they're going to make that dude wait. But he's a future Hall of Famer. When a dude like him gives his time to kids, yes, he going to be cussing and fussing, but he's giving his time to these kids, man. It's an honor and privilege to actually sit here and be in the presence of an NFL player. The chances of you being in the presence of an NFL player is slim, unless you're going to a high school or a college football game, because people gonna represent their alma maters. People gonna represent, you know what I'm saying, where they from. You know what I'm saying? So these kids, if they're not at one of those particular settings, they're not going to be able to meet a guy like him. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing is, if you know you got a badass kid that can't follow instructions, you know what I'm saying? Don't sit up here and get them around somebody that is as famous, as respectable as Marshawn Lynch, and you know they're not going to follow instruction. Because when you're at a football camp, you got to follow instruction. If you're going to be a good football player, the key to being a good football player is fucking follow instructions of the head coach. Otherwise, those coaches is going to put you on the bench, because you're not going to help them lose their job because you can't follow fucking instructions. Especially if you got code like that. And the same for basketball and any other sports. You got to follow fucking instructions. You know what I'm saying? So if you know you got a hard-headed ass kid Why the fuck you gonna put him in the presence of a fucking future Hall of Famer or a respectable NFL player like Marshawn Lynch, who's given his fucking time? You taking away from the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's the damn thing that this asshole didn't realize. She is taking. If I gotta stop what I'm doing just to put your goddamn stupid ass kid in check, and yes, I'm saying stupid ass kid in fucking check, goddamn it, motherfucker, you taking away from the other goddamn kids. These kids travel hundreds, some cases hundreds of thousands of miles just to be in the presence of a baller, of a fucking respectable man. Yes, that man is cussing, and he has every right to cuss, goddammit, because you fucking up his time and you fucking up the other goddamn kid's time because your stupid ass wants your kid to be fucking hard-headed. And that's the reason why all your goddamn kids now is wearing dresses and shit like that. They gotta bust a pussy because they fucking they ever had a real man around their fucking ass. Yes, I'm saying that, goddammit. And I hope you motherfuckers don't like it, goddammit. Your son gonna have a pussy because he can't follow goddamn instructions from a real man. In order for your kid to be a fucking man, you need to have a mentor that a motherfucker that can follow instructions for. And one day, if that kid becomes a man, if he becomes a man and not have
if he knows how to become a man,
if he becomes a man and don't end up with a pussy, yes, I'm saying a pussy, then goddamn it, he gonna think to me with a guy, not pussy, but a pussy. So goddamn it, let that kid get that game from him. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if that kid white, black. If that was a black mother, I would have said the same goddamn thing, and I'd probably be on her ass a little bit more. But I'm gonna still get on your goddamn helmet.
Man, what?
The fact is, sometimes it may take another black person to get on your ass, because a lot of white kids, they don't get a lot of game from these white dudes unless it's about. Let's please be clear. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got a real caring white dude that you can learn game from, a lot of times they'll let them be an asshole over society and shit like that. But sometimes it takes a black person to make them learn some game. And sometimes if you got the right white person, that's one thing I can say about white people. They learn a lot of game from black people.
Oh hell yeah! I've said it, and wait a minute, I said it on both of our shows. I'm not sounding racist or prejudiced. White people learn game better than black folks do.
Exactly.
And they do it better than we do.
Yeah.
You know? From our folks.
Yeah.
You know, it's a saying. I can teach you everything you know, but I ain't gonna teach you everything I know. Well, guess what? Hey, here's a new spin on that. White folks are, they done learned the game from us. Well, I can't think of, but hey, we done taught them everything that they know, but they done somehow slick learned everything that we knew too.
Look at KFC. KFC was the recipe to KFC was learned by a black woman who ended up broke. I can't think of the woman off the top of my head. You said it before on one of these shows. You said her name one time on one of these shows, but
who, the woman on KFC?
You said that before one time, because I mentioned this before, but the founder of KFC, Colonel Sanders, learned that recipe from a black woman. You said her name before. I don't think it's in your brain because you got so much going on as a technician like that. But he learned from a black woman on how to cook chicken. You know what I'm saying? And KFC is basic chicken. You can get somebody in the hood to cook that shit, and you know what I'm saying. But the recipe he learned was learned from a black woman. And to me, KFC is not the same as it was in the 80s and early 90s. I'm going to put it to you like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. I'm going to just tell you.
It's not.
It's not. You know what I'm saying? Because they will, I can go get some Frenchies and I can go get some Frenchies. This is way better than fucking KFC.
And hold that thought. Harold's Chicken on 1251 Winchester. Let me put somebody on blast here in Memphis. Since a Harold's Fish and Chicken has opened up on 1251 Winchester. Don't fuck this up. Because if you fuck this up, you done fuck the good name of Chicago up. Continue.
Exactly. But like I said, I can go to Gus's and like I say, Harold's. Harold's been in I think the south side of Chicago, am I right? Because he
Yeah.
started it on the south side of Chicago for many years. And you can ask anybody
Yep.
from Chicago. I think Harold's would give fucking Frenchies a run for his money. I don't know too many spots, that gives them a run for their money. You got to come down to Houston one of these weekends, by the way. But anyway,
yeah,
you can it's several chicken places that's better than fucking KFC. But one thing Colonel Sanders had going for him was he listened to that black woman how that damn chicken, and he made billions of dollars out that motherfucker. Bill Gates got the concept of Microsoft from an African dude. And he paid that dude off handsomely because there were a lawsuit in the 90s that people did not know about, you know what I'm saying? And, he had to drop that money off because he learned him and Paul Allen stole that concept of
right.
Microsoft. That's one thing he learned, you know what I'm saying? So white people, you know what I'm saying? Black person, they listen and they use it to their fucking advantage. That's one thing they got going. It's several things I can name. Several the GPS. The GPS. If you Wikipedia GPS, a white dude face in front of it, but it was a black woman that showed
it was a black man who created, yep.
Yeah, that created the GPS system. But if you see it right now, though, it's gonna have Wikipedia will have the white dude on it. But if you cross-reference that Wikipedia link, it's gonna show that black woman who came up with that concept. You like the reason why the astronauts was able to go walk the moon, hidden figures for black women who was good with math and shit like that. They came with the concept. Three black women. They came with that concept of sending niggas to the moon. You know what I'm saying? And bam, them bitches got on the moon. And it's only been 13 astronauts to go to the moon ever since that particular concept. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just small examples on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I say this to say that Marshawn Lynch could change your kid's life, man, if you let that man lace him with some fucking game. Or dude, he's trying to get, because following instructions on the football field is a small part of following instructions in real life. Sometimes you go
and then that old
go ahead.
And then that black chick that was talking about some get the fuck out my drill, get your ass up. At least the white mama was listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the black girl, she wasn't trying to hear that shit.
Yeah, and that's a small part of changing your life. So yes, Marshawn Lynch gonna be an asshole, but the thing is, he's worked to where he gotten to in his entire life, man. He's worked hard to where he's gotten to, man. He's been through a lot of shit in his life, man. So let that kid get that game that he's trying to teach that kid, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if he ain't following instructions from a goddamn world famous athlete, I know damn well he ain't finna follow no instructions from a motherfucking day-to-day teacher, man. He ain't he a badass. He probably sent some bomb threats to the motherfuckers for all we know, goddamn it. But go cook on this particular topic because that shit disgusted me, man.
I mean, hell, it disgusted me. Shit. I mean, and like Jimmy said, Jimmy basically said everything I want to say. Mm-hmm. Y'all women need to stop, and I've said this plenty of times. Y'all single mothers out there need, and I'm gonna be blunt. Y'all single mamas out there need to stop laying with these dudes that ain't gonna take care of their children, especially their sons mainly, that you're gonna later turn out and pussyfy. Don't pussyfy your children. I don't care if they're your daughter. No, don't pussyfy your daughter. Fellas, if you got a daughter, hey, need to teach her have some backbone, stand her ground. Hey, she got. I'm gonna say it. She got what women got, but hey, she needs to stand her ground like a man. Got to fault the father's absence on this shit too. Women need to stop pussyfying their sons, dude. And that's what bothers. That's what bothers me. Like That, and matter of fact, that bothered me for like, I'm gonna go on and say it. That bothered me for 2 years when I was living somewhere else. All right,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not gonna get into detail because I'm just gonna admit it. I'm gonna admit it. If you know your dad, the biggest hope they is in the city. A, why the mama still hollering at him? Why the mama still hollering at him? Why she's married to someone, and your son don't know how to be a man from under this dude. But then with someone like myself is trying to man this dude up, you go back to pussy fine.
Uh-huh.
See, that was an issue I had. I was just gonna say it. And yeah, and I threw a subtle hint, threw a subtle shot. I don't care because I tell everybody I'm the king of cheap shots. Because you come at me with some, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. The bullets ain't penetrating the glass.
Exactly, man.
So and hey, and and the way I look at it, and I'm admit on here, I kind of in some way, shape, or form, his mama helped me fail in that department because you know when you pussify yourself, cool and all true, he got, when they got into the service and stuff like that, then after what I found out, what really went down, and I'm not gonna say on the air because we got a he and now we got our own non-disclosure act on that one, okay, so to speak. I can't speak on it.
Go ahead.
Just being honest, I can't speak on that, but then because reason being, everybody hit my inbox up talking about, well, what he do? I ain't don't worry about it, you know. But I told you. But
Yeah.
it's man, it's these women out here, man, and then when the father do come into life and man these dudes up, the women want to blame the men that their son is this and that. They son ain't. Look, we gone on record and say, and I'm going to say it again. A woman cannot raise no boy to be a man. A father cannot raise a father cannot raise no girl to be a woman.
Yeah.
So you parents, you need to, if there was such thing as a time machine, you better think back to how you were raised growing up, and now that the shoes is on the other foot, you need to utilize some of them values. So if Marshawn Lynch tell your kid, hey, get the fuck off my field and get the fuck out of my drill if you don't want to participate. Hey, if I was standing out there, I would told my son, hey, do what he said, man. Do what he said. Just do what he said. That's it. I ain't gonna confront this man and say, I ain't appreciate you talking to my son like that. Only thing I'm gonna do is shake his hand, pull him aside, said, appreciate that. He needed that. He needed a little bit. He needed extra on that one. That's what the mama should have did right then and there. But he had every right to G check her. And yeah, Jimmy J and myself got every right to G check some of you most of you single women out there where they got parents that has a child or children.
Yeah. And my thing is, one thing I can respect about my sister, shout out to my sister Joni, is
Mhm.
when I let my oldest niece Angel and even my 1 year old, when they get out of line, she let me do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows before she'll just raise my son to be a man, and I'm gonna let you raise him. Uh, but I'm gonna wait till I get my money together. You already know, but I ain't gonna reveal that until later. Later on
Yeah.
down the line. But once I get my
Mhm.
money together, he gonna live with me because I want him to be a man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna still be around his mama. You know what I'm saying? During the summers, I'm gonna send him to Atlanta during the summers and stuff like that, so he can get used to being around his mother and stuff like that. But I'm gonna raise him because I feel like, especially these uncles around here, I think all the siblings should raise somebody's child, help raise the kids. You know what I'm saying? Don't like George Frazier has said, the financial expert as well as black empowerment expert. He said, don't just raise your kids, raise the friends and raise the nieces and nephews that's gonna be around him. You know, it ain't your job to raise your own kids, but raise everybody
Right.
else's kids, raise his friends to be, because that's very important. And nieces and nephews and uncles and cousins, that's very important. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason
Mhm.
why, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna take him in, because you know what I'm saying, he needs to be around the man. You know what I'm saying? I know what
Right.
time it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I'm not gonna go over here and discuss. I may discuss
Mhm.
it at some point, but right now it's just not the time to discuss it. But
Right.
I will say this: I'm going to take him in. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
Because I want him to be around some real men. You know what I'm saying? And I got. And some of the game that I got was hard. Was the School of Hard Knocks. Sometimes it was somebody putting a bug in my ear. Sometimes it was a couple of things. Sometimes it was a lot of things. So it's important for boys to get around some men and learn how to be men and stuff like that, and not be pussyfied and pussy whipped. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of
My.
them
Woo.
men, it's because of fucking single mothers. They always trying to soda pop them. They always trying to sugar them up, as I say. You know what I'm saying? So
Sweeten
you know,
deal.
yeah, exactly. So let that kid get that game from Marshawn Lynch. He gonna thank him later when he grow up. You know what, Mr. Lynch was right. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking up. And
Mm-hmm.
I've had several people, even grown ass men, come to me. It was like, you know what, you right, man. You know, even some of my friends be like, you know what, you was right, man. I did fuck up on that. You know, even with me when I'm driving with my homeboy, and he's like 10 years younger than me. You know, because I'm finna get my driver's license. So to me, pat myself on the back for that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when he tell me something and I don't do what he say on that road, I see where my fuck up is at, and I'm gonna be like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, you're right about that. I should have made that turn. I should have got off on this exit. I shouldn't have did the U-turn and shit like that. I'm not too proud. I'm not too proud to say I'm wrong about something. Cause like it was like yesterday. I was driving on the road and he said make a U-turn, but not at that particular exit. So I made a
Right.
U-turn at the exit, and nigga,
Oh.
the trip took 11 more minutes out our schedule because I was just trying to get back to the shop. Because
Mm.
we take lunch break, me and my homie. Shout out to my plug camp business partner. We break and we use like 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes an entire hour to get this lesson done. But the thing is, he was like, "Man, you gonna get it. You gonna get it because I believe in you and I ain't gonna give up on you." You know what I'm saying? And this is a young dude, 10 years younger than
Mm-hmm.
me. Teach me something that
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker taught that didn't have the patience to teach me. But
Hmm.
I turned on the wrong fucking exit, and then I seen how long this motherfucker took, and I'm like, "Damn, you know what, son? You right about that, bro. I fucked up on it." And the good thing about me driving is I'm seeing where I fuck up at. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
not like you have to tell me something 3 and 4 times. It's just I'm seeing where I fuck up. You know what? You right. I am fucking up in this department. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
to make a long story short, you need another male guidance. Your kids gonna always need a male guidance. Sometimes it may take
Yeah.
a younger person to put them up on game. Sometimes it takes that, a young person to
Yeah.
put you up. But it's good to get it from the older cats. It's just good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So learn that fucking game. Let your kid get some of this ism, man. Let your kid get some of that game out here, man. So it is what it is when it comes to that, man. You got anything else you want to say about this topic before I go to the next topic here, folks?
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, stop pussifying your sons. Period. I cannot stand to be around kids, mainly young men that are just pussified. Now I can understand with the exception. Here's one exception to the rule. Now, if they got a disability or whatever, I can understand. Not just I said we, meaning myself and you. We can understand it. But if they ain't got no disability and you still babying them,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I can't help them. If you gonna baby the shit out of them, I can't help them.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot help them. If you babying them more than trying to let another man them up, and the first thing they always tell us, Jimmy, is like, "What? I don't need you to do that. That's what he got a daddy for." Well, if that's what he got a daddy for, what the fuck is he?
Yeah.
Off putting his off with his shoes up under some other chick's bed,
Yeah.
playing man at the house. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. So, man, ladies, stop pussyfying your sons. Excuse our language on this day, because this will be posted on Facebook, and we do apologize for the explicitity of this, but we just tell it like it is. Jimmy J and I, we tell it just like it is. Oh, and by the way, Jimmy, uh, shout out again, once again, to my girl, the Sherbert Rattler. She appreciate the shout outs we gave on the last show, and I'm gonna boldly predict something. Mark my word, I think by June 2020, Sherb, Miss Sherb is going to have 2 more shops open by then. And I'm also going to predict further down the road, Sherbert is going to dominate the Memphis hair salon business. Mark my words on that. And when she does, I don't know how much a plane ticket from Houston to Memphis costs, but I will send you a plane ticket up here, and we will go to the mega grand opening when she does that. I'm predicting it right here on this show that it's gonna happen. And if she does it, and when I see her and her husband, I'm gonna buy them a bit. I'm gonna buy them a dinner of their choice and a drink. And I'm gonna shake their hand and just say, "Hey, Craig Smith predicted you was gonna monopolize. You was gonna take control of the Memphis hair salon business. Yeah, she's gonna do it, dog. I'm predicting it right here and there. She gonna do it. She gonna do it. She been seeing this vision ever since she graduated high school, dude.
Oh yeah.
And she made it happen. Took her a long time. Took her a while. Made it happen. And she got 2 shops, and she been shit. Told her go for a third and a fourth. I guarantee you, she probably had 3 open by next year. Just watch. She gonna dump. Woo! Oh boy, some of these hair salon businesses gonna hate it that a black woman with a strong badass mindset like her is gonna dominate. Is gonna dominate the entire the hair salon business here in Memphis. Even all the ones that's in the neighborhood, the back of the house, where they doing 50 different tasks all at once, frying the chicken, doing hair and everything. She gonna put them out of business too. But yeah, she gonna take over. I guarantee that. Now, you had a topic about Cliff Branch.
Yeah. Let me address this because I've addressed this on the last show. I gotta say rest in peace to the late Cliff Branch. Um, it's just so fucking unfortunate that this dude is dead and he had inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say it again. This man should have been in the Hall of Fame. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Because at the time he retired with 8,600 receiving yards. At the time that he retired,
Mm-hmm.
when you go over 8,000 yards as a wide receiver, that's the equivalent of going 15,000, 12,000, 10,000 yards as a wide receiver, because the big number was wasn't at that particular time. And if you look at his stats was pretty much the same as Fred Biletnikoff. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He was a major factor in Biletnikoff actually getting the receiving yards at that time, because which one
Right.
we going to catch the ball? Defense was like, which one we gonna let catch the ball? Because Biletnikoff, he's a good wide receiver. He's a good possession receiver, and we can't let Cliff burn us, because if Cliff burn us, we in fucking trouble. 4-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro, first team All Pro, not second team, first team
First
All
team.
Pro. You know what I'm saying? At the prime of his career, the prime of his career was between 1972 and 1981, and then
Right.
out of his prime, he would still make big plays for the Oakland Raiders. Now, at the time when he went to the NFL, he was a track and field guy, and he was supposed to go to the Olympics, but he chose football over track and field, because in the Munich games they lost the 100-meter dash in the Munich games, and he timed 10 seconds flat at a track meet back in June of 1972. And he clocked 20.5 seconds. Now, at this particular time, 10 seconds was a big deal. If you clocked anywhere in the 10 seconds, 1050, 1070, that was Olympic class speed. You know, now right now you got high schoolers that's doing that right now. But at that time, that was fucking fast. And at that time, only two guys broke 10 seconds, and that was Jim Hines and that was the late Bullet Bob Hayes, who played for the Dallas Cowboys. And people had to install this to stop this dude. Now, in 20 playoff contests, he had 1,289 yards, averaged 17.7 yards a catch, 5 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? He had the record for the most receiving yards, in playoff history until Jerry Rice broke it in 1993 and 94, respectively. You know what I'm saying? And you're a first ballot Hall of Famer. Y'all can get the fuck out of here. And it's sad that this motherfucker who represented Houston, Worthington High School, you know, the same high school that
damn, he called Cliff Branch a motherfucker. Damn. Jimmy, you that man?
I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to talk bad about the guy, you know what I'm saying? Because he was a good person, but this individual came from the same high school as Mike Singletary and his son. I mean, and his nephew, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that this dude did not get to see the opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame, you know, because the high school he went to, Larry Michaud of the Houston Cougars basketball team, Phi Slamma Jamma, you know, you had Terry Ellis from In Vogue who went to the high school as well. You know what I'm saying? So he comes from a respectable high school. But the fact that this man could not see himself being in the Hall of Fame when he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer is a fucking crime right here. This is a fucking crime on the end of Hall of Fame voters. And I'm going to stress this, and I'm going to stress this until I get old and can't speak no more. Have to be using a talking box up in this motherfucker. A vocoder motherfucker. The Hall of Fame need to be split down 50-50 between fans and sports. If not, give the fans the opportunity to call the Hall of Fame. Because I think if it was up, he would have been in the first ballot Hall of Famer, and he deserved that. He deserved that because people wasn't worried about Biletnikoff as much as they were worried about Cliff Branch. Cliff Branch was one of those accelerating speed dudes, and even after the prime of his career, he was still burning motherfuckers. You look at the Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins, he was still burning dudes down the field and shit like that. You know, key receiver for Jim Plunkett, who was a sucky quarterback, by the way. You know, contrary to his Super Bowl wins, he was a sucky quarterback, but I digress when it comes to that. But this man deserves...
let me hold on about Plunkett. He had to give it the right offense, and I think that offense with Al Davis, man, brought it out. Because that time he was in New England, though, man, they didn't have shit.
New England and the San Francisco 49ers prior to Joe Montana being and this is right before Bill Walsh was the head coach of the 49ers. But then even then, you know, he threw a lot of interceptions and shit like that. You know, like his key coming out party was the 1980 Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? When he won Super Bowl MVP, but statistically, and which is the reason why people in the Hall of Fame has not awarded him in the Hall of Fame. But you can also argue Ken Stabler shouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame based on the numbers too. But Ken Stabler,
and I was about to mention that because why would they after you know what? And I think that will piss the entire NFL off. Why would you put Kenny Stabler in the Hall of Fame after he died? His daughters is pissed off about that.
Yeah. Now, I will say that because, like I say, Branch helped Ken Stabler out a lot because him and Dave Casper are respectively, but he was a type of person that Cliff Branch was the reason why the Dave Caspers was able to shine. He was the reason why the Biletnikoff was able to shine because he was so fucking fast. You couldn't, if you didn't have a zone defense, you couldn't guard this dude one-on-one because there wasn't a lot of shutdown in the NFL, and most of the shutdown corners was playing for the Oakland Raiders and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It was only a handful of guys that was considered a shutdown corner, and I mentioned that in the last show. Dick Knight, Train Lane, who used to bait and cover a lot, because when he played man coverage, guys would not throw his way, but when he used that bait and cover, that gave him like 60, damn near 70 interceptions. Because guys, if they saw Dick Knight, Train Lane right there, they wasn't gonna throw in that direction. But if it was like a bait and cover move, then they would be tricked out of throwing right into his direction. You know what I'm saying? And now they just don't even throw in that direction, whether you're playing zone. If you consider the shutdown corner in today's NFL, unless you got somebody like a Julio Jones, like wide, who has the height and speed to burn those guys.
Yeah, for his size.
Yeah, in his size. Yeah, they're not going to throw, because Julio Jones like 6'5", you know what I'm saying, and with
built like a tight end.
Yeah, more like a tight end. So unless you got one of those type of wide receivers, they're not going to throw in that direction. Like when Richard Sherman got caught on like a 10-yard pass down the field against Gronkowski, Josh McDaniels went to the sidelines when Tom Brady got on the bench, and he told him, "Don't you ever throw in his goddamn direction for the rest of the game." He told him straight up.
He did.
Yeah. He told him, "Don't you ever throw in his direction ever again. You got all these wide receivers that you can look at downfield. You don't got to throw in Richard Sherman's direction. Don't ever do that again." And he didn't. He barely threw in the Legion of Boom's direction. Period. I can name like 4 passes he threw.
Talking about in the Super Bowl. Talking about the Super Bowl and that regular season game they played.
I'm talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the Super Bowl that New England shouldn't have won at all. He was like,
okay,
I don't ever throw in the direction of him again. He didn't even throw in the direction of the fucking Legion. He only threw like 4 times the whole game, which is not a lot. But again, with Cliff Branch, there was not a lot of shutdown corners who were just as fast as he was. So it was one of those to where he was able to get numbers, and he was actually able to had the defense. The defense couldn't cover them all, because you had like basically 3 wide receivers. Casper was like a possession receiver, possession tight end, but his numbers came off of mainly Cliff Branch. Biletnikoff's numbers came mainly off of Cliff Branch's being covered, being double covered and shit like that, because that was the only way you was going to get a guy that speed and then playoff saying. So it was one of those things to where Cliff Branch should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, hands down. You know, he was only 5'11". He was a fast 5'11". You know what I'm saying? And he was physical as well. He was a physical wide receiver to be 5'11". I think he was the original goddamn Steve Smith, because Steve Smith was 5'9" and was fast as hell, but he got up. You know, he made catches on motherfuckers. So the Hall of Fame, you get this right. If you don't put this man in the Hall of Fame, you know, after this guy dies, you know, I'm talking about immediately put him on the mandatory list, on the, you know what I'm saying? We gonna put this nigga on the Hall of Fame list right then and there. There's a fucking problem. And I'm glad John Gruden. I have my opinions on John Gruden, but he said it best, man. This man should have been in the Hall of Fame, because he's the only guy to play on all 3, you know what I'm saying, Super Bowl winning teams for the Oakland Raiders. He's the only guy to play. You know, Willie Brown was an assistant, was the corners coach, but he only played on 1 fucking Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You know, to be honest, and was the assistant coach on the other Super Bowl team. So Hall of Fame selection committee, who's ever got control over the Hall of Fame selection committee, put this man in the Hall of Fame. Put Lester Hayes in the Hall of Fame. Those guys should be in the Hall of Fame respectively. Both of those guys should be in the Hall of Fame. And definitely rest in peace to Worthington High School on the sunny side, south side. You know what I'm saying? Worthington High School, stand up. Mike Singletary, stand up, man. You know, Terry Ellis, stand up, man. You know what I'm saying? So represent my Houston correctly, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Rest in peace to the brother, man. You know what I'm saying? And rest in peace to the Branch family, man. Do you got anything you want to say, man? You know what I'm saying, before I go to the next topic here, folks?
No, that I mean that's about it, bro. Because shout out to the Haynes family. Cliff Hayes, is it Haynes or Hayes?
No, it's Cliff Branch. It's Cliff Branch, but
Branch. I'm sorry.
Cliff,
I'm sorry, Branch. Yeah, to the
yeah.
Branch family. Big loss for him. And I think he was a position coach for them for a while too. They showed little clips of him. I think he was a
Mm-hmm.
receivers coach for a long. He was receiver coach for the longest. And they showed like a little clip when he was talking with Randy Moss. He was telling him, "You guys like kind of like doing like you got to pump the brakes a little bit. What you doing, you know?"
Yeah.
But 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 hey, but he should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago with all the numbers. And I mean, the only like you said, he's the only guy to play to be a part of Raiders 3 Super Bowl winning teams.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, he should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. I mean, but and I agree with you on about what the NFL and on how the Hall of Fame committee needs to be 50-50, because at least baseball, at least, and I don't follow baseball much like I used to, even though Yankees my team, I follow them a little bit. 90% of the time, Baseball Hall of Fame gets it right.
Yeah.
90% of the time, they get it right because it's because Tim, what's his name? What's the dude's name from ESPN? Tim Kirk, whatever
Yeah.
his name is. He said that most of the Hall of Fame committee is sports writers, fans, and former owners.
Yeah.
So at least Baseball Hall of Fame has it right.
Yeah.
But
And
it is what it is. And, shout out again. Shout out to the Branch family. Y'all lost a good man, and the Raiders lost a damn good player for their organization.
let me bring that topic up slightly, but in a different sport. The boxing Hall of Fame should be the same way 50-50, as well as the Basketball Hall of Fame, because the fact that
Yes,
Chris Webber did not get in on the first ballot
it's
is
an
a crime.
insult.
Is a crime. You could argue Chauncey Billups should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, especially during those Piston teams. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the main scorer, along with Richard Hamilton. Those were the main scorers of those teams because they were mainly known as defensive teams. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a crime in itself. You want to, but definitely Chris Webber statistically, he, for 15, 17 years, he averaged 20-10 throughout his entire career. The numbers itself showed that he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? So basketball, boxing, as well as the NFL need to get this shit together. So in terms of these Hall of Fame, how they do the Hall of Fame. If they don't put them in that respect with 50-50 with 50-50 fans and sports writers and former players, then okay, that's on them. But
Mm-hmm.
at least make it fair, because that's as fair as you can make it. So it is what it is when it comes to that. Another person I wanted to say a rest in peace to is the late Toni Morrison. Um, Man, definitely rest in peace. One of our most respected writers of our generations. Of course, she wrote the book Beloved, which ultimately became a movie with Oprah Winfrey and Danny Glover and stuff like that. Respected by most, even some of your most racist people respected Toni Morrison. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump said some words of encouragement, and I don't even like that motherfucker. But I
We
digress
who
from
don't.
that. Yeah, but you know, she was a stand up woman, man. I have to say she was a stand up woman. She actually stayed in Houston for 4 years during her graduate degree, and got her master's. I think he was her master's or doctorate, because you know people call her Dr. Toni Morrison. By the way, so
Right.
she Houston. She was living in Houston for a short amount of time, and then ultimately went to Howard University. Went back to Howard. You know what I'm saying, to finish her studies and stuff like that. And like I say, her writings was very respectable. Beloved was one of the only books that I could think of that went to the big screen. But she had books like The Bluest Eye, which probably one of her most notable books, The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, Tar Baby, very very respected book as well. Paradise Jazz. And that's just to name a few, because she was very respected in children's literature. She won a Grammy for spoken word album and stuff like that. Actually, the first black person to get a Nobel Prize for literature, uh, male or female. So she definitely was a respectable individual as far as her works and stuff like that. And she's definitely going to be missed. And one thing I can also respect about her is she called out those feminists. You know what I'm saying? So, you
Mhm.
know, she was saying that basically saying that it was a fucking joke, and she gets my respect in that department for calling the motherfuckers out. So, and because they often associate her with feminists, and she G checked that shit. She was like, man, I don't fuck with these motherfuckers. Shit. So, rest her soul, man. Respect to her husband Harold Morrison, if he's still alive. I'm not sure about her husband. I know she get the name Morrison from her husband Harold. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
rest in her and much respect to her. You got anything you want to say about that?
No, bro. I mean, because number rest in peace, man. We shoot the good. No, it's bad. We lose good people every day, but have to deal with the assholes.
Exactly, most definitely. Let's go to the next topic on the ESPN top 25. I'm gonna pick the number two. God damn it.
You mean
Shit.
the SI? You mean the Sports Illustrated top 25?
Top 25 and live, baby. So I
All
picked the
right.
number two.
So, well, hold on.
Go
So
ahead, go ahead.
this how we doing it, people. I'm gonna pick from the number. Both of us is gonna pick. So we gonna randomly pick. We can't pick our own, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So we gonna have out of the numbers 1 to 25. Uh, yeah, you pick a team, and then not team. We're gonna be picking a random number. So Jimmy, you pick your random number. So what's your number out of from numbers 1 to 25?
My random number is two.
Okay. Oh, you gonna love this number too.
What's that?
Cause in fact, they whooped our ass last year. The rundown on the number 2 team that Jimmy picked is Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
The big story is, how do you top a dream season? Clemson will try to become the first back-to-back champion from outside of Tuscaloosa since Nebraska repeated 25 years ago. The Tigers will feel both familiar and new. They're loaded offensively with their new standouts at the skills position. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence, wide receiver Justin Ross, and running back Travis Etienne are all back. But on the other side of the ball, the dominant defensive line is gone, which means the offense will need to pick up the slack if there's a defensive drop off. Let me say this: when you got Brent Venables as your defensive coordinator, there ain't gonna be no defensive drop off, because they said that shit the last time when he lost 9 stars on the defense, and what happened? Clemson won the national championship the following year.
No. And then
That ain't gonna happen.
let me
If you got Brent Venables as your defensive coordinator, that's a snowball's chance in hell gonna happen.
no. And then the part of South Carolina that they're located in, which produced some of the greatest defensive linemen of all time, that drop off is going to be slim to none. So even if he loses guys, ultimately he's going to reload, because that talent, that part of South Carolina, I don't know what it's about South Carolina, because Albert Haynesworth is from that part of South Carolina. What's the dude name? The Perry brothers is from South Carolina. I mean, shit. What's that? Clowney's from South Carolina. So it's a whole bunch of people from South Carolina, and Florida State, places like the University of Georgia. A lot of those Florida schools recruit in that part because those guys breed defensive linemen. They breed
Right.
defensive linemen better than the Midwest states and the mountain parts of Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Because the state of Tennessee does breed a lot of big defensive linemen as well. So it's one of those things to where it's going to be hard for a drop off to happen, because Clemson has been known for underclassmen like sophomores and freshmen to look good. You know what I'm saying? Even the University of South Carolina has, they be having guys that does well as underclassmen. So I'm not counting Brent Venables out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not. Don't count him out. Don't count that motherfucker out. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Don't count him out. That's all I gotta say about that. Do not count that motherfucker out.
Man, we've been praising Brent on this show, brother, man. Because he got on down because see from what was said, Bob Stoops didn't like the fact he left Oklahoma, and the real reason behind that was Bob Stoops didn't let that man coordinate the defense the way he wanted to. So he took the Clemson job and said and hey, he been a champion ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
all right, here's still on the number 2 here. The can't miss is Travis Etienne. He said he averaged a touchdown about every carries last season, the best rate for a starting running back in college football in 6 years. The explosive junior carried the ball more than 20 times in the game, just twice last season, but with his top backups gone, he's going to see more of the workload and his trips to the end zone increase. All right, here's the key question, and we just talked about it. How dominant will the defense be with their defensive line and their top linebackers from last year gone? The defense is short on experience, but still talented. 3 redshirt freshman ends, KJ Henry and Justin Muscole, and linebacker Mike Jones Jr. could be stars by season end. All right. Now, Sports Illustrated got their X factor, and they said playing on the defensive line that included 3 first-round picks, Xavier Thomas was a bit overlooked last year. That should change. The number 1 ranked defensive end in 2018 class, he has the size at 6'2", 260, as well as the speed. During his senior year of high school, the South Carolina native ran a 4.42 on the 40, faster than all but one defensive lineman at the 2019 NFL Combine. In a rotating role in 2018, Thomas finished as a near unanimous freshman All-American with 3.5 sacks and 43 tackles. He got a boost in production with teams concentrating on the 4 NFL products around him. He won't have that luxury this season. I'd agree. I mean, that's fucking impressive for a defensive end. You run the 4.4 on the 40 at your size. That's scary. Over and under. They got Clemson going over 11.5 wins because I'm getting their schedule in a minute. It said back-to-back September matchups against Texas A&M and Syracuse will be tricky, but there's a huge talent gap between the Tigers and the rest of the ACC. There's no room for error to get to 12 wins, but the Tigers will run the table, and they got a schedule that includes Georgia Tech in the opener, at home against Texas A&M, at Syracuse on the 14th, the 3rd game, Charlotte, at North Carolina, Florida State at home, at Louisville. In they last 3 or 4 games at home, or will be at home, and then they got a road game in NC State. And SI is predicting them to go undefeated again this year. I agree.
Yeah.
And they said in a 5-year trend, even if he won't admit it, Dabo Swinney has built Alabama East. And in April, they got him the biggest contract in NCAA history. 10 years, $92 million. For that kind of money, it's title bust for Clemson. Dabo Swinney, it will never have a bad year at Clemson. So, I ain't saying Clemson's my favorite team. You got to give them a lot of respect because it took Dabo a while to turn them around. But, hey, they becoming the Alabama of the ACC, dog. Love them or hate them. You got to roll with them. So, I agree with them. I think Clemson going to go undefeated. Syracuse going to give them trouble, though. I think that Syracuse.
Florida State gets it together. If Florida
State
gets it together, they may have a problem.
They're going to be at home against Florida State. So that ain't going to happen. Florida State beating them in Clemson is not going to happen. But that road game at Syracuse gave them problems.
What about do they play Miami on their schedule, or they're in a whole other division from Miami?
No, Miami's not on the schedule.
Okay, so they'll have it. Miami, if Miami wakes up, they could give them problems too if they wake up. And I'm saying if a big ass if. But I think year 2 for Slick Willie could be a good year for them. So that's the reason why I mentioned Florida State. But at home, then they're going to be at a huge disadvantage being at home. Being on the road versus Clemson and stuff like that. So it is what it is when it comes to that.
All right. So what's my number?
What's your number, sir?
Yeah, you got to tell me what my number is.
What's your number? Your number is gonna be 6.
You wanna know my number 6 is?
What is it, bro?
The Ohio State University.
Oh
Good pick,
man.
Jimmy. But I'm gonna get you back though.
Okay.
The big story from Columbus is the post-Urban Meyer era begins in Columbus. And former offensive coordinator Ryan Day's biggest task at coach will be replacing the quarterback who rewrote the school record book. Stepping in for Dwayne Haskins is former transfer Justin Fields, a former 5-star recruit who was granted immediate eligibility despite playing 12 games at Georgia last year, Jake Fromm's backup. And on that note, Justin Fields should have been the damn start in the first fucking place. So Kirby Smart lost some points on me on that one. Like Haskins, Fields not only has a big right arm, but he's also more of a dual threat, averaging 6.3 yards per carry in 2018. The can't miss. 2 years ago, running back J.K. Dobbins shattered Maurice Claret's freshman record with 1,403 yards, but his production dipped last season as offense leaned on Haskins' arm. The J.K. Dobbins show should return this year. Day is vowed to take full advantage of the 5'10", 217-pounder's breakaway speed. Key question: can Ohio State's defense stand up against the run better than it did last year while relying on less experienced players? In 2018, the Bucs allowed opponents 4.5 yards per carry. Oh, that's not good. And that was before defensive tackle Dramont Jones and Nick Bosa left for the NFL. The D-line will be the key, led by projected first-rounder Chase Young. The X factor. Last season, Ohio State had one of the best and most balanced wide receiving units in the country. Hey, that we did, Jimmy. You did say that once upon a time. I ain't gonna take that away from Ohio State. They're gonna have some damn good wide receivers all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
With four pass catchers gaining between 650 and 1,100 yards, 3 of them are now in the NFL. The lone holdover, 6 foot 195-pound KJ Hill has upped his production each year. From 18 catches for 262 yards as a freshman to 56 grabs for 549 yards in 2017 to 70 for 885 last year. The sure-handed senior who trails David Boston by 47 catches on the school's all-time list has been used all over the field. But with the turnover at receiver, he'll need to emerge as the number one target. There will be a learning curve for Justin Fields and new offenses. He's going to need a reliable top option. Over or under,
Yeah.
they got Ohio State over 10.5 wins. The Big Ten competition isn't as stiff as in the years past, but the Buckeyes do have road trips to Lincoln and Ann Arbor. And here's the schedule. Lane Kiffin comes to town first game. Then they got a home game in Cincinnati, at Indiana, a home game at Miami, Ohio, at Nebraska, Michigan State at home, at Northwestern, Wisconsin, Maryland, at Rutgers, Penn State, and then at Michigan. I think they'll lose that game to Nebraska.
Yeah, that might be
What you think?
a surprise
And
upset.
that Penn State game gonna be tricky. That Penn State game gonna be tricky because James Franklin at times he disappoints. He disappoints me against Ohio State. Now the year before last, he should have won. He should have won that game, but he was being too conservative in that game. I remember that. But yeah, I think Nebraska will knock them on their ass a little bit. They ain't got Purdue on the schedule though, because that was an ass what Purdue gave them on live TV. Man, woo! But they'll lose one game, and the Penn State game that's gonna be tricky, and Michigan that's gonna be tricky too. So yeah, they'll be over 10.5 wins next year. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but then they also said if the 5-year trend, if he and Sports Illustrated predicted the same thing, 11-1 for 2019. Yeah, they're gonna lose Nebraska. They're either gonna lose either Nebraska or Penn State.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Jimmy,
disagree.
we're gonna preview two more teams. And since I said I was gonna get you back with the number 6, your number is 8.
Okay.
You wanna know who your number 8 is?
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna say the team, I'm gonna read it. After putting up the school's first 10-win season since 2013, gaining a Fiesta Bowl victory over UCF and landing a top 5 recruiting class, expectations are sky high in Baton Rouge.
I know who the fuck you talking about. Don't act like I don't know. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Gotcha.
Well, go ahead. I'm talking shit though. Go ahead.
LSU has 16 starters returning, a stout defense, and a potential star quarterback in Joe Burrow, directing a revamped offense that includes playmakers like wide receiver Justin Jefferson. There's one big obstacle, though. You know who that is, of course. The Tigers have haven't beaten the Tide in 8 years and have lost by a combined score of 63-10 the last 3 seasons. Can't miss. At the Fiesta Bowl last December, a high school player stole the show during LSU's practices. Derek Stingley. I wonder if he's related to Daryl. The top-ranked corner nationally in the 2019 class and the number 3 recruit overall graduated high school early and participated in the Tigers bowl prep. And with his freakish athleticism, he went toe-to-toe with Tiger starters on the field. Stingley wasn't eligible to compete in the bowl, though, but he'll be front and center this season as a lockdown corner and electric return man. The key question is the good news. LSU's offensive line returns 4 starters. The bad, that group allowed more sacks last season, 35, than all but 24 college football teams. Can the unit bounce back? They'll need better play on the line for the new LSU offense to fire on all cylinders. And here's the X factor, and you might want to chime in on this, Jimmy. LSU fans have been long waiting for the Tigers offense to advance schematically past the Stone Age and join the spread movement. The moment appears to have arrived. Coach Ed Orgeron hired New Orleans Saints offensive assistant Joe Brady to overhaul an offense that under Les Miles and in Orgeron's first 3 seasons was one of the country's most archaic units. No LSU passing offense has cracked the top 50 nationally in 6 years. Behind closed doors at spring practice, the offense features 5 wide receiver sets, no huddle looks, and a frenzied pace. How smooth the transition is under quarterback Joe Burrow will determine if LSU can actually have a real shot at upending Bama. Are you buying that?
LSU, they're gonna have to hire a way better coach to compete with Alabama. I mean, because they're not gonna compete with them anytime soon as long as Ed Orgeron is at the helm. You know, Les Miles was their best. Les Miles and whatchamacallit, Nick Saban, who's now at Tuscaloosa, were their greatest years of competing with Alabama. I mean, and one could argue that LSU Alabama rivalry was on the level of Tennessee's rivalry. Now Alabama's biggest rival is really Auburn, to be honest with
Yep.
you now. You know, one could argue it in the state of Alabama, it always was, but it's always going to be looked at as Tennessee's the big rival or Auburn is the big rival. One could argue you could based on the numbers, for instance, but LSU was competing with them for many years because for a minute LSU won on their home field, one on Alabama home field, whether it's
Yep.
Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. And then LSU couldn't get a win in Baton Rouge versus Alabama for many years. So it was like one of those. That's how big of a rivalry that was at one point in time. So with LSU or LSPU, uh, uh,
Or as
I
that
don't.
fan question, or as that dude said in that fan question, fuck LSU too. When he
As
agreed with
long
you
as
about Ed Orgeron.
Georgia on there, fuck them. I'm just gonna be honest with you because I did like LSU when Miles was there, even though
I
he
did
had
too, but I just didn't like I didn't like the fact that Les refused to change his ways though, man, as far as offense went.
Yeah, and he was a way better offensive coordinator. That's the killing part about it. He was a hell of an offensive coordinator. at Oklahoma State, man. He was a hell of an offensive coordinator. But when he got a head coach, he just all of a sudden became conservative miles, man. So and that's and it had him some miles away about a Baton Rouge up in this motherfucker.
Yeah,
Because I think had he not go so conservative, he would have competed with Alabama. That still would have been a rivalry. But right now, since Alabama's dominating the SEC now, that's a closet rivalry at this point, kind of like the
yeah,
Cleveland Browns to the Steelers right about now. That's one sided. Every 20 years, Cleveland may get a win over Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh gonna dominate that series as long as they got good coaches and got the Rooney family running. So it is what it is when it comes to that shit.
okay. But here's my issue. But I'm gonna get on today's schedule in a minute. Uh,
Mhm.
Ed Ogeron, I'm skeptical about Ed Ogeron because see the way he fucked over Matt Canada. Okay, you was talking about because he was telling everybody he was gonna let the offense, just gonna let Matt Canada do his thing. And Matt Canada went public and said that Ed Ogeron go behind his back and change offensive plays. And like he said, how you gonna be a defensive coach? You a defensive coach, but you gonna change my plays. You gonna tell me what to run or what not to run against certain defense. Now granted, LSU's bread and butter ain't nobody talking about that 3-4. Well, that 3-4 they run. And we're gonna do some film study on that. Look up Dave Aranda because he was Wisconsin's defensive coordinator for a while. Dave Aranda runs one of the best 3-4 defenses ever. But I'm skeptical about that. I'm still skeptical about that defense. And Oregon fans, and everybody else on there that has foot that be having offensive coordinators talking about that they vow to open up the playbook. Don't believe that bullshit because they come out running the same shit every year and they say the same shit every year. Don't believe them. But their schedule includes this: they got Georgia Southern in the first round, then they make a primetime trip to Texas,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure Jimmy will be watching. Then they got Northwestern State at Vanderbilt, Utah State, at home against Florida, like always, at Mississippi State, at home against Auburn, at home against Alabama, at Ole Miss, at home against Arkansas, and at home Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Now they have them over. Sports Illustrated has them over 8.5 wins. They said except for the trip except for
Go
the
ahead.
trip to Tuscaloosa. Okay, it said except for the trip to Tuscaloosa, the Tigers will most likely be favorites every week. Expect double-digit wins in Baton Rouge. And then they said the 5-year trend. Ed Ogeron's critics are a little quieter after last year's 10-win season. But this is LSU. 10 wins still isn't enough to placate the Tigers fan base or let alone catch Alabama. Same thing Jimmy J. Smooth's been saying. 10 wins ain't enough to keep, and really 10 wins is not enough to say your job.
Not at LSU when they're used to winning 5 or 6 national titles, depending on what publication you talk about. You gonna have to bring championships to LSU. LSU, it like most SEC schools, whether it's Georgia, Tennessee, I'll say at least 7 of the 14 current SEC teams, you're gonna have to bring something stable to the table. Hell, even A&M has got championship potential now that they got Jimbo Fisher. But I don't know. This is, even that is up in the air right now because, as long as Alabama is dominating the way they are, because even the last coach, he was recruiting very well. He always stayed in the top 15, top 5, but he just could not get it done enough for A&M fans. And A&M wants that first national title since the 1930s. But
Mm-hmm.
again, you're playing in the SEC where LSU recruits in Houston all the time because really their main fan base is the Houston, East Texas area. You know, LSU recruits here, Arkansas recruits here, University of Missouri recruits here. Shit. Hell, even Tennessee every once in a while would be like, get over here, like not Sub Zero, but Scorpion. He like, get over here, goddamn it. We don't. Even Alabama took a few Texas kids out of there. So
Yep.
you compete with basically the entire SEC West to a certain degree in terms of talent. So that's gonna be hard, man. That's gonna be hard right there. It's just like Florida. Everybody's getting guys out of Florida. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things to where A&M gonna have a hard time. But with LSU, LS that's what the hell they are. They Pew, Pepe Le Pew. You know what I'm saying? LSU, Orgeron has got to get out of his pissy ways because otherwise he gonna be gone just like he was at USC. And LSU will fire you faster than damn near anybody, just as fast as USC. So fans want that championship. Once fans taste championship, got them championship shirts, championship caps. Once people can wear something that they can feel called the championship, it's a problem, bro. If you don't do it again. So Ed Orgeron gotta step it up, man. Otherwise, he gonna be up out of there. And I don't see him winning a championship. I don't even see that nigga winning an SEC championship, much less a fucking national title. So
True.
it is what when it comes to him,
All right, we're gonna do one more to close out the show. So what's my number, Jimmy?
man. What's your number? I'm gonna do you something. Do you a favor. Number one, bro. I'm gonna give you that, bro. I'm gonna do you that favor right there, man.
You already know who you already know who number one is. I ain't gotta say it, but we already know. The big story. The Crimson Tide made their fifth consecutive playoff last season, and yet they begin this campaign with something to prove after a 44-16 ass whooping. And I'm gonna say it here, and every Alabama fan to say it. We deserve that ass whooping to Clemson in the title game. The defeat led to changes in Tuscaloosa. Coach Nick Saban overhauled his staff, bringing in 7 new coaches. One thing that hasn't changed, quarterback Tua is still under center. The Heisman finalists shredded the Crimson Tide record book last season, and with the trio of all-conference receivers returning, Tua is poised to put up even bigger numbers than he did 2018 if his ass can stay healthy. Can't miss. One reason Tua won't see a drop-off performance, 6'1", 190-pound wideout Jared Judge Judy returns. The junior is a speedy tightrope walking, glue-handed freak. Judy caught a touchdown on every 5th reception last season and averaged nearly 20 yards per catch. There may not be a more dynamic playmaker in the country. The key question: the Tide has lost a whopping 12 starters to the NFL over the last 2 seasons. With all those losses, can the Crimson Tide defense continue its dominance? For this inexperienced unit, it all begins with senior end Raekwon Davis. Bama needs a big season from the future first round. The X Factor. The offensive line that was dominated by Clemson in the national championship game will have a much different look to start 2019. 3 starters are in the NFL, and junior guard Deontay Brown, who was suspended during the playoff, would sit out the season's first 4 games. Alex Leatherwood moves from guard to left tackle, but the key contributor could turn out to be Evan Neal, a 6'7", 360-pound 5-star recruit. Wow. That's a Hawks there, Jack. From the 2019 class, whose versatility has impressed. The behemoth could be a factor at guard or fill in at tackle. Neal's emergence will bolster the Tide's ground game, led by junior running back Najee Harris, who had 783 yards and 4 touchdowns last year. Sports Illustrated has us over 11 wins. The last time Alabama won fewer than 12 games, go back to 2013. The Tide should be double-digit favorites in every game this season, even against LSU at home. And our schedule, Jimmy, and really, I got to, Bama got to improve in their non-conference schedule. But it's Bama. Their schedule include Duke, New Mexico State, then at South Carolina, Southern Miss, on the road to South Carolina, at home against Southern Miss and Ole Miss, at home against Texas A&M, Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, at Mississippi State, Western Carolina, and then at Auburn. Yeah, we'll go 12-0 again, but Texas A&M gonna give us trouble.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something.
And South Carolina may give us trouble too.
I'm gonna tell you something. This is gonna say a lot about where Jeremy Pruitt is with Tennessee. Now, I think Alabama's gonna kick that ass again. But if they can stay in the game with Alabama to the point to where they can look good, because I'm not looking for Tennessee to beat Alabama at least into the next 2 years. I'm saying that on air. But if they could compete, at least show me that they could compete with Alabama, that's going to be a dangerous Tennessee team. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If y'all stay within 7 points or within striking distance, that Tennessee team is gonna be dangerous. Because usually, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is traditional. And any Alabama fan will say the same thing. You know how good Alabama is when they play Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You know how good Tennessee is when they play Alabama. Because for many years that was our biggest rival. Now you can argue Florida right now because they lead the series. You can argue Alabama. You can argue Georgia because they lead the series. But for many years, the only person that had a better winning percentage against Tennessee was Alabama for many years. And the team that had the best winning percentage against Alabama, consistently, because there's a couple of teams that lead the season that leads the all-time series. Like Penn State has more wins against Alabama, but the thing is, Penn State didn't start playing Alabama until the fucking 1970s and 80s on a regular basis. So that
Yeah.
don't I really don't count that. I don't that doesn't
I, and
count.
I, I really think Penn State and Alabama need to do home and homes
And
because the last time Penn State played Alabama, Alabama went to Joe, and that was under Joe Paterno's last year. They whooped their ass.
yeah,
That was back in
so
2011. Bama whooped their ass.
yeah, so most of the shit that they did in the 80s against Alabama really truly don't count in my personal opinion. So I'm not even gonna discuss that. But Tennessee, as a consistent competitor, you know what I'm saying, for a long time had more wins against anybody, had more wins against Alabama. But the type of teams Tennessee gonna have if they when they play Alabama. If they can get out of the games against Florida, Georgia, if they can go at least with one loss going into the Alabama game, I think that'll be a good season for Tennessee. And you might see Tennessee in the SEC championship versus Alabama. Right now, I got to see what Jeremy Pruitt gonna show me as a Tennessee fan. You know what I'm saying?
I need
I
to
got
see what they gonna do on offense.
say
That's
what
my
now?
main issue.
Yeah,
With every defensive coach is a head coach, I got to know what they're gonna do on offense. I don't give a damn about they playing for defense. What the fuck you gonna do on offense? Because
yeah,
Tennessee ain't had no good offense since Philip Fulmer.
yeah, and shit that could be argued as well. I ain't gonna argue with that. Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. But Philip Fulmer had his moments on offense as well because
Yeah,
most of
he ran a straight true when between Philip Fulmer and Dave Cutcliffe running the show. Them dudes was running a straight up pass run first offense. Now you get all these defensive coaches, they damn. Some of these, and no disrespect to Nick Saban. That's my dude. He finally got up with the times. Okay. But some of these other defensive coaches, man, damn. Some of them get on my goddamn nerves, man. Get with the damn times. Stop handicapping y'all coaches. Shit.
and on the running game, they ran the downhill running game, whether it was a sweep or running inside, to where it utilized the speed of the it utilized the speed of the running back to get downfield. You know what I'm saying? So I think Tennessee and I think a lot of teams need to use that downhill running game because it created like at least 10 NFL players with that downhill running game. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be smart on Tennessee's end to find somebody that was on that Cutcliffe staff or even Randy Sanders staff. Randy Sanders wasn't a bad coordinator at all. He was under Tennessee, and I think Tennessee fans need to stop being so fucking picky because we've won. It could be argued because at the time that we won those national championships, the sports writers had say so on who could win a national title. Like one year back in the 1950s, and I know I'm a history guy, but that's what the fuck I am. I'm a history guy, and that's never gonna change and never will change.
Right.
But one year Tennessee got shut out 10-0. I think it was 10-0, 12-0 against the Oklahoma Sooners, and them bitches still won a national title. So that goes to show you these national titles is full of shit. These sports writers is full of shit. And I'm saying that being a Tennessee fan, yes, we got a title on our hand, but we lost in the Sugar Bowl to these motherfuckers. We got skunked in the Sugar Bowl to these motherfuckers. So that shows you. But we got 5 or 6 national titles, depending on how you view Tennessee's many. Alabama has more national titles from the SEC, but again, you got LSU up there, you got Florida up there, and shit like that. But I don't know what Tennessee is made of when we play these motherfuckers right here.
Mhm.
I'm calling you motherfuckers, but I respect you motherfuckers. So it is what it is,
Yeah.
So
And then also on I got a serious note when in the show off with in a funny note. On a serious note, I'm not targeting anybody. If you complain about the fact that that's your job, and if you're not making enough money, job or jobs that you still don't bring home enough money, even with a second job or a side hustle. And if I refer you to a job that's hiring right now, don't tell me I need to apply for it. Don't tell me I need to apply for it. That's a no-no. That is the grandest penultimate no-no that you can do with me. Or if Jimmy does it too.
yeah,
You don't do that. Because apparently the way I see it like this here, when you tell me what I need, if you fucking tell me what the fuck I need to do, you don't want the job. You don't want no help. So, not singling anybody out. That goes for anybody that I know. If I tell you about it, and you tell me I need and if you come back with a retort, why you didn't apply for it? Your job is not to worry about what I've done. If I'm passing along good word to help you out, get up off your ass and take me up on it.
exactly,
I'm sick of that shit. That let me know you don't want no help. You come for what you doing.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
that shit fucking kills me. I can tell Jimmy right now. If Jimmy making $17 an hour, I say, hey bro, hey, this job, similar job position. They starting out right now at $22 an hour. You only get to work 4 days, you be off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Jimmy, first question Jimmy gonna ask me, where it's at. He ain't gonna ask me why you didn't apply for it. First question you need to come out your mouth be where it's at.
Exactly.
So I'm putting anybody on notice from now on. Don't take it personally. It's not a shot. If I hip you up to something, and if you ask me, if I hip you up to something, and if you don't ask me the question I just asked, what you supposed to ask is where this place at, but instead you want to turn around and ask me why I didn't apply for it, why I didn't do anything, stick to your comfort zone if that's what you choose to want to do.
Exactly.
You want to stick to your comfort zone? That's fine. I'm just trying to do you a favor, trying to help you out. I tried my best to help a person out. I was told to my face by one person, I'm not gonna say their name. I don't need your help. Okay. And I told him my face, I said, well, fuck you then. Shit. Hey, but it is what it is on that. So, man, I mean that. If I refer to you about, I say, hey, if I refer to you on some things, whatever, like partner of mine, he referred me to his job. I'm get on the ball and apply for that shit. I ain't gonna ask that man, well, why you ain't apply for it? Why would I ask him why he didn't apply for it and he works there? If he telling me that they hiring, I'm gonna get on that damn. I'm getting on that website and I'm gonna look for real. Damn it, folks. People need. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I say the same thing here, man. And I can refer you to some jobs that I haven't applied for. And because Houston needs so many people in terms of depending on they need so many people in multiple fields, you could easily get a job out here, man, if you really apply for the shit, man. You know, even
Yeah,
my job is always hiring. You know what I'm saying? And like the man said, if he hook you up with something or refer you to somebody that is always hiring, take the advantage of the opportunity. If you don't need no help, don't talk about you need help because
thank you.
it's only in our hearts as individuals. We don't want to see nobody go broke or have to rob a nigga just to survive or have to sell no dope or do nothing illegal. You ain't got to do all that, man. If you got somebody networking and trying to help you and shit like that. So
You know,
cut the bullshit. Don't waste our time because we ain't got time to be wasting time, dude. We can get at to somebody that really wants it, you know. Because I'll help any fucking body if, especially if sometimes a person talk to me, man. This could be a motherfucker I don't know. I could be like, hey, you might need to go up to this job. That's how I was able to find jobs out here in Houston from people I didn't fucking know that I didn't know from a fucking can of paint. Listening, ear hustling on the bus, be like, man, you need to go to this staffing agency, or you need to go up to this particular place, or you need to go to that place or this place or that place. That's how I was able to find jobs in Houston, man. So
yeah.
take advantage of your opportunity, man. Because like sometimes you can find jobs just ear hustling out here in Houston, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean by ear hustling, position to where you survive your particular situation to make yourself. Ear hustling can be noted as different things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be
Yeah,
like shit. You know, hey, you listening to a motherfucker say and be like shit. That motherfucker help you out and bam. You know, because people out here will help you.
yeah. I
People
mean,
out here will be like, yeah, go ahead, brother.
yeah, that's me. You're ear hustler, cause like, it's like it's people in general. Like we pass a good little word around. You know what? You don't. Like to spend what Charles Barkley said about LeBron. What does he want? All the good players. He don't want to compete. What you want? What you want to work two jobs and still be broke? What the fuck? You know, what you don't want no help. You too proud to not want help. I mean, fuck. We going. Sometimes people wonder about me like, why are you so mean to people? Because when you try to help people out, they don't appreciate none of this shit. I've had a few people that don't appreciate shit. I'll say this to y'all. Hey, fuck y'all. You know, I'm saying it with all my heart. Fuck y'all. You don't want my help, but you'll take a bum ass, but you'll probably take a bum ass nigga's help that you don't even know from the fucking goddamn street that'll get you. Hey, well, I got me a, you know, I got me a job to pay better than that. Okay, so I'm just saying, for example, this happened in instance of one time. I referred this dude, told this guy that this thing at the time Nike was hiring. Matter of fact, no, I was looking for another little gig because I was tired of FedEx this time. Okay, and I asked this one young lady, I ain't gonna say her name. You know, I asked her she mind, has hey, she mind hook me up out there at Nike. Because I really need some money and got tired of the bullshit FedEx will always pull, cutting everybody's hours in April, every hours in April. Every year in August, they stay cutting hours, right or wrong, Jim.
Yep.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it was around about this time before then, huh? But
No, no,
anyway,
no,
I don't know.
no.
Okay, okay, but I asked this young lady, I said, hey man, hey, I'm trying to get out there Nike. What all you need to do? See if you put a good word in at Nike and everything. The response I got was and I quote, put a good word in your goddamn put a good word in your own motherfucking self out there. So I said, oh, okay, left it alone. But then the next person that asked like that, all of a sudden, 3 days later, they in Nike. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And see, and the way I break it down was like this. if you ain't no street nigga, and see, and like I said, I'm not a street dude, even though my dad was my old man, my late father was one, and I'm not. That a street nigga help out their own for they help somebody that's not in their criteria,
Yeah.
and that's how this person was to me. So hey, I don't even fuck with him no more. And that person they hooked him up with, they went on ahead and did bigger and better things. Doing trying to making a name for themselves in making a name for themselves in another field. But I'm like, oh, okay. Street niggas and hard niggas and assholes got to stick for one another. But someone like me, they don't want help. They don't want to help me out. But their ass will always. But them same ones always will be up in my face about when they want some artwork done. And I do them, and I politely reject their ass. Hey, we don't forgive and forget. We'll forgive your ass, but we ain't gonna forget. And I'm more of the latter than I am the former in that one. I will hang out. That would be over your head with me for anything. What you if you done me wrong.
Yeah.
And I do admit, about us about Libras. First and foremost, when we say we're gonna whoop your ass, we're gonna whoop your ass. When we advise people don't play mind games with us, don't come with that shit. We will fuck you over. We are the game, man. We know the game better than anybody. You come at us with some bullshit. Oh, already know you done. We get ready to do it, before you even do it.
That's true.
The negatives about us is we're big spenders. We hold grudges. I know I hold grudges. Some Libras do. Some other Libras I know they probably don't. They probably do it. They don't. I know for me, for example, yeah, I try to, you know, I try to budget my money, but it be people that be making me want to spend money I ain't fucking goddamn got because they ain't got it. And when I say no, and here's me, when I tell you no, I'm not gonna do it, and no, I ain't got it, and if I ain't got it, don't get fucking mad with me, and don't blackmail us, and mainly don't blackmail me. I'm the wrong nigga to blackmail because somebody tried to blackmail me once before, and they did it on Facebook, and guess what happened? I aired out all their dirty laundry out on Facebook, and they had to hurry with, and they had to wave the white flag like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
So don't blackmail us. But on the end, the serious note, before I get to the funny note, if you reject our help, if we helping you, trying to help you out of your situation, and you come at us with some fuck shit like why we ain't do this and that, and we trying to help you out, guess what? We'll let you keep struggling till you figure out your own goddamn self.
Just like Rick Ross say, every day I'm hustling, it's gonna be every day you struggling. Every day you struggling.
Yep, every day you hustling, every day you struggling. He just real shit. If people say they grown, if you're a grown individual and one grown man helping you out, hey, take the help. But when you turn around and ask some of that shit, that let me know right then and there, you're not grown yet. You got a long way to go.
Yeah. Real shit.
I mean, so my motto is this: grow the fuck. Hey, I'm not, grow out of y'all goddamn shit. Grow out of that little self-inflicted pride. Stop it, and mainly like I tell older people, especially old folks, get the fuck out y'all stubborn ass ways. Get away from that damn wall y'all got implanted. That wall is old.
Exactly,
The wall, that self-imposed wall that you put up, it's fucking old. Okay, break your damn wall down, learn to accept some damn help. I mean, because hey, after that, when I end the conversation, hey, I just figure I just pass that along. Now, if they want to take up on it, fine. But if folks want to, if they still want to struggle on one job, two, three jobs, and they feel they ain't making enough money, and I'm trying to help them out to ease them out, and they still want to continue to struggle that, hey, so be it. I'm not talking to somebody in general, but that's everyone. That's about several other people I know, and I sometimes I really don't, man. And people like that, they just sicken me. It's like, man, what the fuck, man? You know,
Agreed.
but also on a funny note, to all the ladies that have dated, to the ladies I know that have dated myself along with Jimmy J Smooth, and if you currently have a man right now, I want you to look over at him real hard, and then look away and just think to yourself and just ask yourself, don't I wish Jimmy J Smooth and or Craig had got to me before your ass did? Where they at anyway?
Exactly. I totally agree with that. Uh, real talk. Real talk.
That's what I'm serious. Ladies on my end, that it is real talk. Ladies on my end that have dated me and you got some little drabby ass man. I'm speaking on behalf of Jimmy J as well. If you got some little drabby fuck shit of a man that ain't doing shit, look at him real hard. In your mind, just look at him a hot minute and then turn back around, do what you're doing, and just ask yourself, don't I wish Craig had got to me before your ass did? Or in Jimmy's case, don't I wish Jimmy had got to me before this fool did? Where he at anyway? We got it. So we ain't got Facebook Messenger for nothing, ladies. Because I know there are some out there right now. I'm not saying them guys give the women anything. I'm beneath that. But there are some women out there right now that is feeling this way.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Jimmy, you say you agree on that for yourself?
Hands down, bro. Hands down,
Man,
man.
but hands down. But other than that, man, great show. Ain't got nothing. I don't have nothing. I think we covered a good topic field today. A little 2 hour show today. So I'll let my boy Jimmy J close it out.
Yeah, I got a topic in particularly I do want to discuss. This is concerning the former University of Memphis defensive lineman. What's the guy's name? His defensive tackle Suttles, Ernest
It's a
Suttles.
bonus, y'all.
He was charged in a rape case allegedly on an off campus incident. And
Mm-hmm.
originally he was suspended indefinitely, and he was barred for even going to the University of Memphis.
Wow.
And however, the case has been dismissed according to Shelby County criminal court, saying the burden of proof, they cannot carry it as a burden of proof. And
Mm-hmm.
he's actually suing the University of Memphis for breach of contract and denial of due process under
Mm-hmm.
Title IX. Uh, he's
Title
also,
Nine. Oh, he'll get that money.
yeah, he gonna get. I would sue. I would try to make them have to spend goddamn head coach's budget, because here's the thing, and universities do that all the time. They do that all the time. I think John Calipari jumped the gun with Jeremy Hunt, but what ended up happening was Calipari made up for it. He let Jeremy Hunt back on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had the opportunity to see Jeremy Hunt and Joey Dorsey at the Peabody place, and Joey Dorsey made the joke about it, man. Like, since this nigga like to whoop bitches' asses, I'm gonna put this nigga in a pink dress up in this motherfucker. He made it as a joke, but he knew Jeremy Hunt was innocent, and like I say, the prosecutor actually dismissed that, threw that case out, as a matter of fact. And they have a history. Coaches has a history of jumping the gun, but I'm glad John Calipari allowed Jeremy Hunt to come back on the team, because at the time Jeremy Hunt was doing so much stupid shit that he actually did. It was assumed that he beat a former University of Memphis ladies basketball player, because the woman he was dating was a former player.
Yeah. Jeremy Hunt stayed in the news. Like you said, he stayed in the news for every little thing. If he shitted on the street corner in public, he'd be in the news for that.
Yeah, he did, but he was
He
doing
couldn't
some
help.
stupid shit.
He couldn't help but do stupid shit, dog.
Yeah, he was doing stupid shit, but Calipari was wrong on this one because he didn't go through a due process, but he did make up for it. He did let him back on the team his senior season, and they went to the Elite Eight against Ohio State. So but this is not the first time they done some shit like this. They've been doing this shit for a while, and I think the University of Memphis need to investigate properly. Look at the evidence first before they do jump the gun, because in this case they did jump the gun, and this is going, this dude gonna start his business after he get through getting the money up off them bitches. I would sue them for every bit of
bro, or get
money.
him or sell it out of court.
Yeah,
Shit.
settle down, which I think he'll end up with at least 10, 12. Between, I say the number is gonna be 5 to 20, because that's what the actual number could be. Because you could also add stress and something. I've had
Uh, I
uh
know that. Damn. Hold up. I know what that is.
yeah, that he
Pain
could
and
get
suffering.
pain and suffering. He could actually get them for that, because that is a mentally anguishing situation. So it's multiple things he could get the University of Memphis for. I know here in Texas, if you do some shit like that, goddamn Rusty Harden would be waiting to give you a phone call just to get that attorney percentage off it, because Rusty Harden gonna get pop your ass for 100 million. You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna get about 20 or 30 million up off that motherfucker. So, I would say get the best attorney. Hell, come to Houston and get Rusty Harden. He waiting on he is a certified lawyer in the state of Tennessee as well. He's not just a certified lawyer in Texas. He's because he's the guy that represented Anna Nicole Smith, represented Adrian Peterson. He actually helped Adrian Peterson to the point to where, even though Peterson pled guilty to abusing the child, he was still able to see his child under Texas law. You know what I'm saying? So Rusty, anytime you can get a guy pleading guilty to a child abuse case and still have visitation rights, because legally in Texas law they supposed to revoke once you plead guilty or found guilty. But he had it so cool with the judge to where he removed that shit. Like, well, still let him see his child. Adrian is a good dude, because Adrian lives in Texas in the off season. Anyway, he lives in Houston during the off season. And he has a house in his old neighborhood, which is really 2 hours away. Bayswell says the Houston area, because if you drive anywhere between 1 and 2, it's basically Houston. Fuck it. So, but I say get Rusty Harden ass. You know what I'm saying? Hell, get Mark Garagos on their bitch ass. Mark Garagos charge a good fee. You know what I'm saying? Get the best guys. Hell, get Tom Messero on their asses. So shout out to my boy, man, and I hope Ernest Shuttles. Shout out to him, man, and I hope he get his money, man. So more power to you,
Yeah.
brother. Anything else you want
Yeah.
to say?
No, hey, he gonna get his bread. No
Yes, sir.
doubt. Gonna get that bread.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna go in here and play this piano as soon as I get offline, man. You ain't got nothing else you want to talk about before we get ease on down the road?
None.
Okay,
We
man.
did everything, brother.
So once again, man, this your boy live and direct in full effect out the 832, and my boy out the 662. And y'all already know how both of us do, man. Y'all have a good day. Don't drink and drive, man, and stay live. Peace out.
And the pleasure has been all yours.